When were you in VP-5?
My name is Donald Latimer. I was in VP-5 for about 4.5 years, from October of '57 to January of '62. I was actually on the crew that crashed until January the 1st of 1962, and I had transfer orders to San Diego. And so the reason I didn't go to Iceland with the crew is because I was leaving the squadron. I left the squadron on January the 15th, so I knew about the crash before we left, because I think I learned about it the next day. On the 13th, they came over and notified us, at least became widely known in Rota, that we'd lost an aircraft. And of course, they were still searching. And on the 15th, I was back in Jacksonville on the 16th, and talked with some of the crew members' wives, because for one thing, one of the commanding officers told me I should. So I did, and there wasn't much you could tell them after that, you know, that we're looking, and hopefully they'll be found. And Commander Kozak's wife, Mrs. Kozak, she seemed to be concerned about his state of mind. You know, was he worried about flying or anything like that, or going up there? I said, well, he didn't seem to be, because I didn't fly to Iceland with him, but I flew with him up until just days before they left. And I said, everyone said, well, they'd rather not go to Iceland, but they didn't seem to be worried about it. And so it's kind of a shock knowing the guys.
And when did you find out that they had found the plane in '66?
I guess in the late '70s. Another VP-5 crew member came out to San Diego and told me that he'd seen a newspaper clipping where one of the guys, Renenberg, I believe, body had been discovered and buried or something, and had a newspaper clipping about it. I was in '66. I was still in the Navy. I hadn't got out yet. And I was in Africa, but it didn't make any of the leading newspapers or anything like Times or Newsweek. There wasn't any. I'd never heard anything about it till the late '70s sometime. And then I thought, you know, he just told me that it had been recovered. And at that time, I thought everybody had been recovered. Not that they didn't identify him, but no details or anything until just a few years ago when Bob Petway found out about the body still being there.
I understand that you've been real instrumental with working with Mr. Petway as far as contacting the family members.
Well, yeah. My hobby is genealogy, so I've had a little practice in looking for relatives and things. So I got pretty good at finding people, and I was able to contact a few that some of the other guys weren't. That got pretty lucky at it sometimes. But yeah, so we've, as you probably are aware, that we've contacted all the members, family members of the people that were on the crash right now. There were a couple of members that I didn't really know very well that were on the Dr. Brown that was on the, John Brown that was on the crew. He was just flying to get his flight time in, so I didn't know anything about him. And Alan Millette had just went on the crew. He actually took my place, and they moved the technicians up. And so I hadn't flown with him any. And one of the other officers that was on the crew joined him in Iceland, but I'd flown with him. I didn't fly with him on that crew, but I'd flown with him on other crews, so I knew him. Tom Caswick. I knew him just at the flight with him.
And just give us your thoughts as far as planning a second recovery mission. And
it doesn't sound that complicated to me. I don't know what the problem is with attempting it. You know, I think if this geologist can go back there year after year, and they don't have supposedly the expertise that our military does to do this thing, they're not set up. That's not their job, and they could probably have done it. You know. But of course, they don't have the authority to do it. You can't just go back there and say, "Well, we'll bring the bodies back to there. We'll bring them back." They don't have the authority to do it if they could have. So it doesn't seem that hard a job to me. I know some jobs are tough, but that doesn't seem that difficult. if they get in there at the right time. Timing's gonna be the big thing.
I understand it's gotta be during like a couple of months during the summer when you can have action.
Yeah, I'll leave July, August, and maybe part of September, early part of September, that'd be it. You know, that's a small window of opportunity. You've got to get in there.
Okay, is there any other comments you'd like to make?
No, but I say a lot of this went out of my mind after I got out of the Navy. You know, of course you think about the crew occasionally, but I'd really like to see him to go up there and I knew everybody that had been flying on that crew, of course, but my closer friends thought his were identified, but I knew the other guys too, and they ought to bring him back.